With this story, I actually reached out to the Riverside County Sheriff's Office, to their press people, because they had some information here for Media Information Bureau, and they absolutely are not going to release the name of the child that was involved here, nor a picture. So it's just like, I don't really understand that, because here's what I feel. Before we get into the details of the story, before I give you a disclaimer or anything, I hate when they do that, because then it makes me feel like these children will never be able to pay homage to them. They're going to be just lost in the system, and nobody will ever even know that they even existed or even cared to know, even to share as a cautionary tale. So I just think it adds insult to injury when we are not able to get that, especially if the child is past, it's of no danger to them anymore. But let me give you guys a disclaimer, and then we'll go from there. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. So I'm getting this directly from riversidesheriff.org. So thank you for this article, this update. So let me see. It's really short for the most part. On November the 21st of 2024, so we're talking about 3 days ago, depending on when you're watching this, at 6:28 p.m., deputies assigned to the Moreno Valley Sheriff's Station were dispatched to a report of a juvenile medical aid in the 13,000 block of Malibu Court in Moreno Valley. Deputies responded to the location, and they located a 10-year-old male juvenile in medical distress. The juvenile was transported to a local hospital by paramedics. The deputies' initial investigation revealed signs of possible neglect and abuse. The Riverside Sheriff's Office Special Victims Unit was requested to the scene and assumed the investigation. Several hours later, the juvenile's health declined and he was pronounced deceased at the hospital. So that sucks, and that's just really sad that this child didn't pull through. Now, based on the circumstances, the Riverside Sheriff's Central Homicide Unit was requested to respond and assume the investigation. The juvenile's identity will not be disclosed, so they already emailed me back and they told me that they weren't going to give that information up. But if you guys are familiar with this story, if you are really familiar, if you have the correct information, you can email it to me to afcmatters@gmail.com. We'd at least like to be able to pay tribute and homage to this 10-year-old soul who we don't even have a name for. Through the joint investigation between the Central Homicide Unit and Special Victims Unit, the juvenile's adopted parents identified as 51-year-old Alejandra Morin and 59-year-old Juan Sanchez Moreno. These two clown idiots on my screen. Both residents of Moreno Valley were arrested, check this out, for murder, torture, and child abuse. So they intentionally, which should get you a life sentence, tortured this baby and killed this baby boy. They will be later booked into the Robert Presley Detention Center. This is an ongoing investigation, and no further information will be released at this time. If anybody has information regarding the investigation, contact the Central Homicide Investigator, S. Denham, or Master Investigator R. Deanne, 951-955-2777. And again, shout out to them, but I think that it would be awesome if we could at least know who the boy was. Let me give you guys the fair usage and we'll go from there. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Stupid is as stupid does. I will never accept nor understand how people could just be so damn evil and just torture children to death like you don't have to have them. Keep in mind that this child is adopted. That means they went above and beyond and out of their way to cause this boy's death when y'all could have just left him the fuck alone. Starting to get pissed off here. That's when my cuss words come out. But check these videos out. They're very short.
The adoptive parents of a 10-year-old boy are in custody tonight, accused of his torture and murder. 51-year-old Alejandra Marin and 59-year-old Juan Sanchez Marino were arrested after paramedics responded to a home in Moreno Valley and found the boy in medical distress. He died at the hospital, and an investigation showed signs of neglect and abuse.
Where a Moreno Valley couple facing murder, torture, and child abuse charges tonight after their adopted 10-year-old son died in their care. Riverside County Sheriff's deputies took 59-year-old Juan Sanchez Marino and 51-year-old Alejandro Marin into custody earlier this week. It was on Thursday that police had responded to a report of a child needing medical care. This was along Malibu Court. Paramedics took the young boy over to the hospital, and it was there that investigators say doctors found signs of abuse and neglect. The boy's health declined soon after that, and he died hours later.
I honestly don't think that releasing a picture and a name will hurt their case or make any type of change anything that the jury would normally do in a case like this anyway. Like I said, I just will never understand why they work so hard to protect information. If they work that hard to protect these kids, I think, let me not say that. I think I'm just speaking out of anger. Look, shout out to police. Shout out to our first responders. I know they do a good job. I really do. It's these people. It's people like this. This is really who I'm upset at. So, for them to go out of their way to murder and torture this child, what less can you give them than a life sentence? That's the only thing that's suitable to that young soul, 10-year-old boy, RIP. To these people, we would love to see them in prison for life. Thank you guys so much for listening to the story. It's relatively short, but leave a comment in the comment section. If you got more to add to this, definitely shoot me an email to afcmatters@gmail.com, okay? Thank you.